Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. This is Aneeq Rehman. I welcome you to the platform of EduElevate. Welcome Yadga to our channel. This is Aneeq Rehman from Pakistan and Yadga is joining us from Germany. I am excited about knowing maybe our audience is more excited to know about Yatra and know where you're from and what's your journey and what you do right now and how education looks like across the globe. So I have a first question for you. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So tell us about yourself, who you are, guys. We really want to know about you.
Okay, that's like really personal right away. So hi, I'm Jadga. I work in computer science education. I originally studied biology, but then like took a career turn and now work in computing education. I work on Snap, a visual programming language that lets you learn and understand programming concepts. We developed that together with UC Berkeley in California, and it's like one of the best jobs that you can have because we can make cutting edge technology things and see how people get excited about computing and technology. So yeah, that's me.
Perfect, wonderful. So, how did you make the transition from biology to computer sciences? Because I think it's a big jump, maybe. But now with the AI in 21st century, it's not. But I think being a ICT manager or being a ICT person over here, I think it's a big jump from biology to computer. So, how did you face any challenge, or is it okay with it, or it's just smooth transition?
I think it depends on how you do your biology study, because there's a lot of things like systems biology that have to do a lot with computers and programming, but I didn't do that. So I have a master's degree in ecology and evolution and had nothing to do with programming until I got like 25 years. And then I tried it the first time. And yeah, I think I have faced a couple of obstacles, especially like doubting myself whether I could actually do things. But I had great help of a lot of colleagues and friends who work in computer science, and they like you can always ask if you need help, and especially the Snap community is a pretty welcoming one. So we have a lot of like former teachers, professors, people who are still working in computing education, and they are always there for you. So if you have a question, you can reach out to them and ask them, and they won't shame you because you don't know something, but they will actually help you and try to like support you in finding out things. And I found this pretty nice. So in general, I think it has worked really well. Like if you see me from not having any computing experience to like now being kind of a programmer professionally, has been a
Yeah,
good
I
experience.
can. Yes, I personally experienced that, and I have attended your trainings with another venture with the Spirit School, and I'm so glad that we got connected and we are working on SatSnap. And yes, the SatSnap is a platform where you can learn easily, and you can teach the skills of problem solving and critical thinking skills in the students, and it's for every age, from age 12 to onwards. It's for every age. I think so.
Yeah,
So
I think so too.
that's really good to know. So I have, on some platform, I've seen your some kind of biography where you said that you have connected with the greenhouse, so you built a small project on greenhouse. I just want to know, how did the project ignite your interest in computing? The greenhouse
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, so the project was I was doing an internship at the company that I work for now, and in the department that it's like an internal makerspace. So they buy a lot of hardware, new stuff, new technology, and they test it for other colleagues to find out whether they want to use it in their projects, and then you can go there for a workshop, and they support you in setting up the technology and stuff like that. And we were looking for a demo project for microcontrollers and sensors, and that's how we came up with the greenhouse project. So we connected like in a small Arduino with a couple of light sensors and temperature, humidity, blah, blah, everything that's important parameters for plant growth. And initially I was only supposed to like consult biology wise. So I was supposed to like grow the plants and look which ones we can use for the project and what would be good like values for the parameters that we were looking for. Then it was so much fun that I just built the whole thing by myself. And this was actually my first programming experience. So I probably programmed it pretty badly, but it was a lot of fun and it worked afterwards. So that was like the first, okay, I can do this moment. So it was more like a demo project. I'm not entirely sure whether the plants in there actually survived after my internship was done.
That's great. Actually, I think it's a very good innovation in terms of technology and environment. There is a hype going on throughout the world that human working is on SDGs, Sustainable
Yeah.
Development Goals. And right now in Pakistan, they are very active. So we are working with different NGOs, and I myself personally involved in many projects that are working on the sustainable development. So I think technology plus problem solving and innovation, it's going to be a huge thing, and it's really going to affect our living standards in future.
Yeah.
So this is all about your personal journey. I just to move on to this segment, I just wanted to ask one thing. If you want to share some key learnings from your journey that might help uh, others that are looking to switch their jobs, that would be really helpful. If you can share some key tips, maybe.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing that I had to learn is like just try things out. It's really hard to break your computer with something that you've programmed. So just try it. It will work, especially in programming languages like Snap and Scratch who run in the browser. It's really hard to actually break something. So just try things out that you find interesting and see whether they work and whether that might be something for you. And then also reach out to community help. Like people are usually pretty friendly and helpful if you're interested in what they are doing. So don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing that. And I can again vouch for that that you are really helpful for the community. Whenever we ask you something, you are just like, "Hey, I'm available at that time. You can contact me. Hey, I'm available." So I really appreciate that. And I
Oh,
think we are
thank
connected from more than 1.5 hour, half year, right?
you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really want to learn more about Snap. So we go to another segment, which is your passion for Snap.
Yeah. Yeah. The favorite thing I like to talk about, Snap. Yeah.
Yay! So your favorite topic, Snap. So how do you first come across Snap, and what made you become a passionate about it?
So this was also kind of accidentally. You remember when I mentioned the internship that I did at the local makerspace, internal makerspace? I met a colleague in one of the workshops about 3D printing, and she was working in another team where we do the school outreach with Snap, and she knew all about it. So she like showed me stuff in a workshop and in a demo, and I was kind of excited. And then I met the lead developer of Snap, Jens. He also works for SAP, and he's a pretty enthusiastic about Snap, and it's kind of hard to not get excited when he tells you what is great about Snap. So that's how I got caught up into the whole Snap thing.
Mhm.
And the what I really love about Snap is that it's so like welcoming. You can try things out. So Snap is a live programming language. It's a block-based programming language. That means you have like on the left side of your screen, you have arranged these blocks in what we call a palette, and they are very colorful, and you can directly click on them and get an immediate feedback on this right side window that we call the stage. And this like everything that you do has consequences in the environment, and you can directly see them, and that helps you really to come up with interesting projects, and you don't get stuck that often, I think. So it's very, yeah, I just love it. It's the best programming language. It's really good. Yeah.
I can relate to you. How I can relate to you is uh, in Pakistan, we need to choose when we are in our grade 9 or grade 10. So we
Mhm.
need to choose between sciences and arts. Okay.
Mhm.
So I was very passionate about biology, rather, computer studies. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna choose computer sciences because it's very tricky and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna choose biology because it interests me. You can see my greenhouse. I love plants. I was thinking to go with the botany side. Now, when I completed my grade 10, I, you know, accidentally switched to computer sciences. And from that day onwards, I'm in computer science.
Yeah.
So I really can relate it to you, and I can, relate my experience with you that how this happens, and accidentally something changed, and you are like, oh, this is my gist. I need to do that. So
Mm.
it's really
Yeah.
good to know about
Totally.
that.
Yeah.
So we just need to know a little bit more about your day-to-day activity at SAP or are there any specific projects or initiatives you are working with them right now? Because we know you are the one of the pioneer at SAP and you are the best trainer with them. I just want to know how your day-to-day activity looks like, or is there
Mm.
any new initiative? Because our audience really want to know about this.
So I wouldn't say that I have like a very regular day. So it depends on what I'm doing because I'm part of the team that develops the Snap programming language. So we have a
Mhm.
lot of talks about the how to design specific things, if we want a new feature, how we could implement that, what other parts of Snap this might affect, whether teacher would profit from it. Sometimes we just want to develop stuff because we think it's cool, and then we have to like tone down a bit because it's like also about helping teachers and educators to teach programming in their classes. So not everything we find exciting is necessarily good for teachers. So we have a lot of design discussions in the team. And then
Oh,
I develop teaching resources for students, teachers. So I do that a lot. And then trying them out in workshops because obviously we don't want to just throw out things and then be done with it. So we actually want to know that this works. So I run a lot of workshops with classes also to like try out and improve things. And I do a lot of professional development for teachers. And the cool thing is we also have an internal community at SAP where colleagues run workshops. So I also organize a couple of events for colleagues. We do school visits at the company where we run Snap workshops with the kids. So yeah, that's most of my job, I think.
perfect. And I am really glad that we connected and we are here right now. I really want to help out our community in Pakistan. So, is
Mhm.
there any international platform which you are already connected with? And you mentioned that there are many projects that you are working and you need to, you are already helping the communities to work on that. So, I really want to know, is there any that we can share with our audience that they can go and search out for?
So the cool thing is Snap has been getting so big that we don't know all the activities that have been going on. So I've been cooperating with the Spirit schools. So we did a couple of workshops with their teachers, and I hope we can continue that. And
Definitely.
we have a pretty big community in China who uses Turtle Stitch, for example. So that's an Asian project. Turtle Stitch is a version of Snap that lets you export files for digital embroidery machines. So it's like a more crafty way to introduce programming. And then we have a lot of international things. So we have our conference upcoming now, Snapshot. So
Mhm,
that's for international like educators.
mhm.
Um,
Is
yeah.
there
So
any online resources available for our audience where they can go and check it out?
yeah, sure. So we collect online resources, and I will send you a link to that. So we have a lot of
Perfect.
like we have a whole curriculum that's made by UC Berkeley and the Education Development Board in the US. So this is
Mhm.
a whole year high school and middle school curriculum. It's huge. It's really good. I love it. But in Germany, for example, we don't have that many lessons, computer science, that like per week. So people here can't really do these resources in school at least. So we have a lot of like smaller things. And right now we're currently focusing on artificial intelligence, obviously, because that's what everybody is focusing on now. So for the past years, we have been developing activities around different machine learning types together with people from the university in Munich. So as you might know, there's like these three large branches of machine learning: the reinforcement learning, supervised learning to like classify things, and then unsupervised learning to find clusters in unlabeled data. And we have come up with activities to highlight these three different machine learning types. Right now, we are working on a resource that we call Snap GPT, although it's not an actual GPT. It's more like a next token prediction system that uses the idea of a Markov chain with fairy tales, and like we try to predict the next word in a string of words.
Mm-hmm.
And that resource has been working super well. Now we're looking to extend it by also using or introducing the idea of word embeddings, because that's what actually makes ChatGPT good compared to our thing.
Yeah.
And so we're now we tried the basic version, and that works really well. So we've been running this workshop for a while, and I can also send you a link to that resource.
Oh, perfect. I look forward to it. One other thing I want to ask, because there is language barrier as well. So is there a way they have translated it to English? Is it available in English as well?
So most resources we make are available in German and English, and
Mm-hmm.
Snap is freely available. It's a free and open source programming language that runs in the browser. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have a modern web browser, you can just run it without us needing to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, you can obviously also use the resources. So everything we do is an open educational resource. So we usually release it under a Creative Commons license. So if you want to use it, if you want to adapt it, feel free to. I think it's really important to us that as many people as possible use the resources, because we want to get people excited. And we especially also want to get people excited who aren't necessarily the traditional audience for computer science, like kids that love math anyway and program all night in their basement. So those, they can take care of themselves. It's fine. We're looking forward to like including a broader audience to computing or computer science. So all our resources, take them, use them, adapt them.
Perfect. That's a good thing that you guys have a sense of responsibility for the community all over the globe. Because recently I've been a part of one program. This is AFS, and they are training the teachers globally. Either it's from any continent of the globe. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate your effort for this. So coming to my next question, it's related to community. So how important do you think is the community aspect in your organization maybe, or in around you, and how do you engage with them, like with the community? We got the gist of it, like you guys are working on that and you are providing the resources for them. So how you take the community on yourself, like is it important, or how it should work?
Like, I think the community aspect is something that's really, really important, because as I said, it helps you to solve problems that you can't solve by yourself. It's also fun to work on projects like together. And this is something that really, thanks to Scratch, they have been doing an incredible job there. Like the whole remixing idea, sharing projects on a community site, and we have that too in Snap. So the idea is that we have this community site, and you can, if you have a cloud account, you can share a project and you can publish it on the site so everybody can use it, and everybody can look into the code and see how you made the project, and then they can adapt the project and share it again. So we have this whole remix tree idea, so we can always see where the project came from, what was the original version. So it also gives like a sense of ownership, because I can see that somebody else used my project, and it creates really great projects if people build up on each other's ideas, compared to everybody starting the same project by
Mhm.
themselves. So this community aspect on the community page, I think, is really important. Without people really needing to interact with each other, you have the possibility to see how others created their work, and this inspires you to do your own things. But then obviously there's also the exchange with, like, actually exchanging with people aspect. So as I mentioned, we have the community conference, but that's more for teachers and educators using Snap, and adjacent programming projects like NetsBlocks, Turtle Stitch, whatnot.
Mhm.
And we have a forum, so people can ask questions in the forum, and hopefully get help. So we have Brian Harvey, a former UC Berkeley professor, and he's really patiently answering everybody's questions in the forum. So that works really well. And then social media also. So there's people sharing stuff on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook,
Mhm.
every social.
Many platforms.
Yeah.
Actually, again, this is very important for the community to, you know, share the ideas with each other. It's an exchange of everything, ideas, experiences, resources, maybe, and many more things. So one thing I really appreciate about Scratch and then the Snap that they have opened the projects for each and every person, whatever the code is. It's a very good idea to you open source it, whatever the code is. The other person go into code, think about it, creatively innovate it. That's a very good thing. I really like about it, and it's another level of learning. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Around the Pakistan, it's very common, or maybe in Asia Pacific, because I've been in the community from so long with all over the globe, from America, Europe, India, China. So in each community, they have a thing like you cannot copy and paste the stuff. Right. I do get it. There is plagiarism. There is many more things, but with already built ideas, we can build more. That's my intake on these type of stuff, and I'm really happy to get across with such kind of platforms and all that stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. And the other question is, I know your collaboration with the Spirit School is a huge success at the Pakistan, but is there any other collaboration in which you are running at the moment, or maybe you can share the success story with us so that our audience can listen to it?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of projects, and some I've been directly involved, other I've heard from. So, for example, there's one in the Turtle Stitch community, again, this Snap version for the embroidery machine that the university in Warwick in England did last year, and it was called Stitch Through Code and Time, I think. And they tried to like find traditional patterns from different locations around England, but also around the world, and then try to recreate them as embroidery patterns, and then also shared activity cards, resources for that. And they had a lot of people from England, but also all over the world participate, and they even did an exhibit and everything. And then I took this idea this year to a project in South Africa where we cooperated with the Math Institute, the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences. We also worked with local schools there and tried to recreate African embroidery patterns in turtle stitch. And this project has been a blast. It was so much fun working on it. I hope we can continue that. But a lot of people take Snap for their projects and also collaborate all around the globe. So that's really
That's good, and that's good to know because it enticed me. How it enticed me that there is art involved, like embroidery, and then there is a problem-solving pattern, and then we can collaborate each subject, and it's going to be a new huge project. So it's very interesting. If you can share the link for that as well, do share it with us. I'm really going to reach out to my community and do share this resources with them.
yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, we really talked about SnapSnap, what they are doing right now, and we know about you. You are so enthusiastic about whatever you are doing. It's very good to, be enthusiastic for the thing that you are working for. So I just want to know about your take on computing and the SnapSnap. Why I'm asking this question? Because, with the integration of AI, things are really changed. The previous methods are about to go or maybe gone soon. So I just want to know what you think about computing and Snap and a new trend, or maybe the future of the Snap.
Oof. That's kind of a hard question because I obviously can't see into the future. But what we have been working on and keep working on is like making Snap more accessible and customizable for teachers. So I think that's something that's really great about it. It's like that you can customize it for your own needs. So something that we did is like, if you aren't an ICT or computer science teacher and you work with Snap for the first time, you can configure your in a class. You should have tried it out before as a teacher, but if your class didn't try it out before, then you can like take away a couple of blocks, so you make it less overwhelming. And then once the kids or the students are familiar with the blocks, you can then give them the whole thing. So we want to help teachers to make it more usable in their classroom. And I think that's something that like working together with teachers while developing Snap is something that is really helpful and that we want to continue doing in the future. Regarding artificial intelligence, I have to say I'm not entirely sure. I don't think programming will go away. I think people will keep doing it because somebody needs to understand the things that and that even like AI suggests. And then also like programming is fun. So like people haven't stopped making music or learning instruments because there's radios now, so people still do it because it's fun. And I think like the idea of programming as a way to express myself as a cultural idea, where we can like, explain stuff, where we can build our own ideas, where we can make art projects, what you mentioned before, like this whole creative aspect of computing won't go away. So I think people will keep doing that, I hope.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. My intake on this as well, the same, that the involvement of the human with the technology or with the things or maybe with the computer is not gonna go away. Why? Because we need someone to operate this, the AI thing. If there is someone who can operate this, then definitely it's gonna work. If there is no someone, then it's not gonna work. So that's really true that in the future, human involvement is there, but there is going to be advancement. The example that you have quoted over here for the radio, people did not stop making music or learning or making an instrument for the music. So that's a really good and snap on example for the. You have pretty much answered all the questions, and I'm really happy that you are patiently here with us. I think I'm not good. I'm not boring you, or you are not bored at the moment.
No. I'm good. I'm having a good time.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay. So aside from this, we just we have talked about your who your guy is and what you are working on and what community looks like. I just want to know about your uh, aside from professional work, like what personal projects or hobbies you are into. Like, do you have any hobby? Because you are already coding and already at on your toes with different trainings and workshops. Do you have a hobby?
I have loads of hobbies, but actually I use Snap for a lot of them too. So like me and my flatmates, we do a lot of like crafting and working with textiles here. So I have a couple of like I like electronic devices that you can use to make creative things. So I have an embroidery machine, I have a cutting plotter, and sometimes we do projects and together, and we work on creative things, and then we make like this whole friends come over and we build things and play with the electronic devices. So that's one of my hobbies. And then I play a lot of paper role playing, like Dungeons and Dragons. And recently I built a character sheet thing in Snap. So I also use Snap for that, but I really like board games and playing
Mhm.
games with
So,
friends. So that's a hobby.
is that particular project of yours is on SapSnap? Because I want to look into it. I have a peek on it. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah. It's yeah. I like as I said, I use Snap for nearly like everything. It's
it's a
I'm a
fun
real
thing to
fan.
do. Okay. So then I shouldn't ask you that if you have a free time because I don't think so you got a free time because you are so busy and then you have hobbies to do stuff. The hobbies that are really helping you in your real life plus your professional life. That's a very good combination, by the way.
Yeah. I like it too. It works really well.
Okay. Being a coding person, I want to know what's your favorite programming language.
I mean, come on, it's Snap, obviously. I mean, yeah, it's the one that I know best, and
Mhm,
it's a really great programmer. So I haven't mentioned that before, but like at the beginning, I always was like I learned a bit of Python during my internship, and why should I do
mhm,
this blog thing? Because I can type on my keyboard, and I'm a big and like adult programmer. But then like the blocks make it easy to work with, and
mhm,
Snap has a lot of features that are just awesome. So I haven't mentioned that before, but one of these big ideas that Berkeley wants to transport is functional programming and how you can manipulate data with, for example, higher order functions like
mhm,
blocks that use functions and apply them on data. And we
mhm,
did so many projects with that, like creating image filters, analyzing the passenger data set on the Titanic, creating audio filters, like working with different kinds of media and data. And this, like, oh my God, this was like really the moment where it blew my mind. And then I like, map is my favorite function in the world. It is the best block
mhm.
in Snap. So like it's this
Yeah.
yeah, it's really advanced concepts made understandable
Easy.
and simple, and that's what I love about Snap. So it's the best programming language. But other than that, I think I kind of like Python too.
Great. So, do you think, it's my question, by the way, like, do you think uh, coding or programming is difficult?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
I think yes, but the idea is that we want to make it as easy as possible, although some ideas might be hard. So that's we always call this hard fun. So programming isn't easy, but we want to make it like worthwhile. So you should
Mhm,
have so much fun while you do it that you still want to continue doing it. And then also, I mean, learning languages is super hard, and people do it anyway because they see or learning an instrument is super hard. We talked about it because they want the result. They want to be able to make music. They want to be able to converse in another language. So
mhm,
they do hard things. And I think program is kind of the same. Obviously, it gets easier when you do it a lot and know your way around it, but it's not easy, but it should be worthwhile. So we want to give you ideas on interesting projects that you could make that you like want to take on this challenge. Yeah.
perfect. Yes. Thank you so much for this. Uh, Actually, I think the same as well. It's a bit complex thing, but it's a very fun thing. If you get into it and you are just getting deeper into it and see the things like, oh, that's really fun. Let's do it. Okay, now this is the problem. Uh, let's use the programming thing and let's see what's the solution for that. And then it's really awesome to have experience with the programming language and all that stuff. It really adds the problem solving and critical thinking in your mind, and it really helps you in your professional life and in your personal life as well. Okay. Uh, Before I say goodbye to you, it's not goodbye actually. Before we sign off,
Yeah.
uh, can you recommend a book or podcast or any article to our audience that you wanna ask them to read or listen? It's motivating, it's worth reading, or it's worth listening or watching.
Mm. So I think like there's obviously loads of great resources, and I can recommend a lot of them. But I think something that I really want everybody to take a look at is the 20 things to do with a computer paper from Cynthia Solomon. It's from like the 60s, I think, and it was the original resource of like ideas, educational ideas that they wrote down for the Logo programming language. So the first educational programming language for kids that was created at MIT at the 60s, and it uses this idea of turtle geometry, like moving an agent in the first person way, with relative angles and everything. And they wrote down a couple of ideas like how to create your flower, how to create a spiral, how to create everything. And those projects, like, they are still fun to do today, and they work with Snap, Scratch, and all these tools, so you can still use them today when
Mm-hmm.
you adjust the commands to the Snap and Scratch blocks. So that's something that because the idea is so old. I mean, it's over 50 years ago that they made logo. So
Mhm.
that's something that I really want people to see because it's fun to read and still works today.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of transition in the coding field. How I see that, because I've been into the teaching profession from past 10 to 12 years. And I am the ICT teacher, and the books which were in 2010, they have the logo and the paint, and there is some MS Paint, and then there is another paint software which were used. But now it transitioned from logo to MS logo, and then it
Mm,
is to the block-based coding.
yeah,
So our
yeah,
books really got updated, and I have recently uh, worked with the government of Pakistan, and I created the curriculum for them for ICT from grade 6 to grade 12. And I'm author of five books from grade 1 to 5, and now I'm writing my own books for 6 and 7. So I'm so
nice.
excited with that, and I am just updating this stuff, because in the field of ICT there is innovation and there is lots of new things day by day. The book I wrote 1 year back, I think they need to be updated due to the integration of AI, because things are rapidly changing.
Yeah, right.
It's really good that we are connected, and we share a lot of common stuff with each another, and we help the community to grow. I really thank you for that. Okay, so on an ending note, how can our listeners can connect with you or follow your work? Is there any your social platform where they can connect with you, or something that you want to share with us?
Yeah, so we are on Twitter and Mastodon, and Jens is also on LinkedIn, so you can follow us there.
Okay.
And we share the Snap updates on the forum. So whenever something new comes out, we'll share it there too. So if
Mhm.
you have a Snap account, occasionally check the forums.
Okay, perfect. Do share with me the link for each and everything after our call, or maybe
Yes, I will.
one or two. It's fine. I'll wait for that, but do share all the links so that I can, add them in the community forum, in our social media channels, and in all the links, so that most of the people can get benefit from them, because it's for whole community. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience? Anything, like in the quote, or a good phrase, or maybe a motivating speech, something like that.
I mean, God, I've been motivating throughout this whole conversation, but no, like maybe a brief summary, like these three things. I can't stress them enough. Reach out for help if you need some. Don't be afraid of trying things out. Like you can't break your computer in Snap or Scratch. Just try things out and see whether they work. And then the last thing is maybe don't shy away from things that look hard at the beginning. There's always several ways on how you can solve things with help of the community sometimes also.
Mhm.
So don't stop right away when it doesn't work. Like dig yourself into the thing and then try to come up with the solution. And I think most of the time you'll
Thank you
succeed.
so much once again,
Yeah,
and I
thank you.
really, really thank you. Have a
Bye,
wonderful day.
Aneeq.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.